Hey guys, I am Dylan from SiegeGG, and I am here to recap the transfers that happened between the end of Pro League Season 7 and the beginning of Season 8. I will be mentioning player and organization changes made during the off-season. The main focus is on the Pro League teams, so non-Pro League teams will not be mentioned unless they made transfers with Pro League teams. Keep in mind that I am recording this voiceover a few days before Season 8 begins, so there might be some announcements that I do not mention because they happened after I made the voiceover. If we miss any transfers or announcements, please let us know in the comment section below. I will kick things off with the Asia Pacific, or APAC for short. Starting with the ANZ sub-region, ViewSonic Darksided made 2 player changes. Warden was removed, and he was replaced by Specca from Team Verdict. Nico left the team in April, and his replacement will be Virtue from Zero Gaming. Here is the current roster for ViewSonic Darksided. Another team in ANZ made some changes. SYF Gaming parted ways with Kings and Nazgul. Joey G and Vinny were picked up by this team. Coming from Taboo, Joey G will be in the main lineup while Vinny will be a substitute. Here is the current roster for SYF Gaming. Now looking at Japan, Shin left Ainz to join Japanese powerhouse Norarengo. It seems like Shin will replace Cloud on Norarengo because he is no longer listed on Norarengo's ESL Pro roster page. However, at the time of making this video, we were unable to confirm this. Shin's replacement in Ainz will be Zako. Here is the current roster for Norarengo. And here is the current roster for Ainz. In Southeast Asia, Unique Monster disbanded and was replaced by a team from Hong Kong known as Sound of the Silencing. Team Cryptic left their organization and rebranded their team as Team Envy. They used this name when they played at the 2017 Six Invitational. This team also had a roster change. Quantic was dropped from Envy and he was replaced by Array from Aerowolf, a team that was formerly known as Team Script. Here is the current roster for Team Envy. Here is the current roster for Aerowolf. That will conclude the Asia Pacific. Now we are moving on to Europe. Penta Sports was the center of attention in Europe. Shate left Penta and rejoined ENCE as a substitute and a streamer. To replace Shate, Penta picked up Kanaraketti from ENCE. For those who do not remember, Kanaraketti was Penta's stand-in player for Shate at the Season 7 finals. Penta also added another coach to the roster. I Don't Know's former coach, Farrell, joined Penta as a second coach. Here is the current roster for Penta Sports. Here is the current roster for ENCE. And here is the current roster for I Don't Know. Now we are looking at the French teams. Mocket Esports replaced Sneaky with Alive from Supremacy. Sneaky is now the captain of Mocket Academy. Alfama from Dizlown, a team that recently became Mocket Academy, will replace Alive at Supremacy. In addition to Alfama joining Supremacy, the team will be going through role swaps. Tactus will transition from a starter in the main lineup to a substitute and coaching role. Kresko will transition from a substitute to a starter in the main lineup. Here is the current roster for Mocket Esports. Here is the current roster for Mocket Academy. And here is the current roster for Supremacy. That is all for Europe, and now we move to Latin America. When we were making this video, there were no player transfers announced in Latin America, but there were announcements regarding coaches. The main thing that happened in this region was the organization changes. FaZe Clan picked up Boar as their new coach. Yeah Gaming parted ways with their coach Igor CTG. The team also made an organization change. They left Yeah Gaming and they returned to Pain Gaming. Here is the current roster for Pain Gaming. BRK left their Brazilian organization and they were picked up by the North American organization Immortals. Immortals also picked up Yuke as their coach. Here is the current roster for Immortals. Black Dragons were acquired by the Swedish org Ninjas in Pajamas. Here is the current roster for this team. And finally, Red Devils left their org and they were picked up by Black Dragons. Here is the current roster for the new Black Dragons. Now we are moving on to North America. Space Station Gaming made 2 roster changes after DreamHack. Dave was kicked from the team and Trippin was moved to a substitute position. Their replacements are Rampy from Noble and Shuttle from the disbanded CLG team. Crazy, who played with Obey Alliance in Pro League Season 7, will be Rampy's replacement at Noble. Here is the current roster for Space Station Gaming. And here is the current roster for Noble. Obey Alliance dropped Crazy and Benji and replaced them with Skies and Adam. Skies came from the disbanded CLG team and Adam was transferred from SK Gaming. Here is the current roster for Obey Alliance. With SK Gaming losing Adam, they brought in Evil Waffle from Beast Coast to replace him. Evil Waffle will be the 3rd Canadian player on this roster, which makes SK Gaming a majority Canadian team. Here is the current roster for SK Gaming. It seems like Hyper from Disrupt Gaming replaced Mark the Shark on Mouse. Hyper's name can be found on Mouse's ESL Pro roster page, while Mark's name is missing. There was also a YouTube video posted by EG player Necrox that shows Hyper playing in a scrim with Mouse against EG. Mark was not seen in that video. Necrox took down this video, so good luck to anyone trying to find it. When we were making this video, Mouse had not officially announced Hyper joining the roster, but all the evidence points to yes. There is one question that needs to be answered. Who will replace Hyper at Disrupt Gaming? This is what the Mouse roster will look like when Hyper joins. Beast Coast replaced Evil Waffle with Laxing from the disbanded CLG team right before DreamHack Austin. The Beast Coast roster was recently transferred to Cloud9. Here is the current roster for Cloud9. That will conclude the transfers for the offseason. With that said, share your thoughts about any of the roster and organization changes in the comment section below. Be sure to follow us on social media. You guys can follow SiegeGG on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We also have a Twitch channel where we live stream our Debrief podcast on Sundays at 1 PM Eastern Time. Links to everything I just mentioned will be in the video description below. I am Dylan from SiegeGG, and thanks for watching.